Welcome to Chanakya Mandal Parivar's UPSC online Swadhyay Mahotsav. My name is Vinayak, and today we are going to deal with the subject society and social issues and science and technology. Okay, let me tell you the purpose of UPSC online Swadhyay Mahotsav. The objective of this Swadhyay Mahotsav is to introduce you with these subjects. Like every day we come up with new subject and its orientation to you. Okay, today we are going to deal with this society and social issues and science and tech subject. We are going to introduce you with this subject from prelims point of view as well as mains point of view. We are going to cover the syllabus for that subject for prelims and mains, the book list which is the highly recommended for that subject, and previous year question papers. Okay, question papers as in what type of questions appear in the exam related to that subject. Also, we are going to tell you about what are the probable areas on which questions might come in this year's ongoing UPSC mains examination, as well as in the future how the trend of nature of question is going to change. Rather than being too confident about that this is how the world is going to change, I would like to say that this is one of the possibilities, or this is one of the possible way the nature of questions might change in the future. Okay, and this is based on the analysis of the questions that appeared in the past UPSC question papers. Okay, so let's start with the society and social issues wala subject. Okay, UPSC notification consists of all the syllabus for prelims examination, mains examination, and syllabus for every optional subject. Okay, so one should read the UPSC notification that is published annually. One should read it very carefully so that one gets the idea what is the demand of UPSC examination for that particular year from the candidate. That steel frame, okay, not the steel frame of service, the steel frame, the frame within which the UPSC provides its notification, that is the requirement provided by the UPSC, and we as an aspirant are supposed to suffice those needs. Okay. For society and social issues, the syllabus will go for the prelims first and then mains. Okay, in the prelims examination, the points that they have mentioned is economic and social development, sustainable development, poverty, inclusion, demographics, social sector initiatives, and this word etc. It means anything under the sun or everything under the sun. Okay, in prelims examination, for the prelims examination, the syllabus mentioned by UPSC is quite vague. Okay, one cannot say this question or this topic does not come under the UPSC syllabus for prelims examination, because somehow or anyhow we can relate that topic to syllabus. Okay, and we will primarily focus on the mains examination, mains syllabus and questions in the mains examination. Okay, because after all UPSC mains is for 1750 marks, and especially for society and social issues, mains is very important. Okay, as compared to prelims, the number of questions that appear in the prelims examination on society and social issues are comparatively lesser than other subject. But in mains examination, in general studies one paper, okay, more than 70 marks are allotted to society and social issues. Okay, so in this session we will primarily focus on the society and social issues wala subject from mains point of view. What kind of questions appeared in the past UPSC papers, and what are the possible areas on which UPSC might ask questions in this year's paper and the next year's paper. Okay, in the mains examination, the syllabus topics are salient features of the Indian society and diversity of India. Okay, this is also a very broad topic. Okay, if we sit to list down various salient features of the Indian society, the list is endless, because let me start with the one example. Angus Deaton is the British economist who has received Nobel Prize for his studies studies relating to the poverty, okay, and the choices which are affected by the poverty, okay. And the primary case study he used in his studies was from India, okay, and he always criticized, or many, I would say many times he criticized Sorry for the disturbance. Let's get back to the main syllabus. First is the salient features of Indian society, diversity of India. Okay, in this topic this is clearly a very vague topic. There is no mentioned framework for this topic. If we like sit to list down various characteristics of Indian society, the list will be endless. Okay, Indian society is formed in such a unique way that no other society in the world is as diverse as Indian society. Okay, for example, let's take one example. Angus Deaton, who has received Nobel Prize in economics on his studies related to poverty. Okay, and the primary case studies in his studies are from India. The poverty related to India and the factors which lead to the choices which are affected by poverty. Okay, Angus Deaton, he criticized many Indian economists that they are not using the potential of Indian society. They are not considering various options, various case studies available in the Indian society, so that they can enrich the economic sector, research field of economic sector. Okay, and this Indian society is like Pandora's box for economists. It involves lots of problems, lots of solutions also, and lots of diversity. Okay, lots of diverse issues involved in it. Okay, second topic is role of women and women's organization, population and associated issues, poverty and developmental issues, urbanization, their problems and their remedies. Okay, very big topic, and UPSC always makes a point that they ask many questions related to this topic. There is always one question, at least one question related to women empowerment. There is always at least one question related to poverty, at least one question. The UPSC always make it a point that they ask questions regarding these points alternatively, women and poverty, or women and developmental issues. But there is always one question related to women empowerment. And from now on, or from last 3 years and henceforth and in the future, there is always going to be a question regarding urbanization. Okay, population, urbanization, development, these are not different topics, these are interrelated topics. The interrelation of this topic is such that if there is some effect, if there is some change in any entity, in development or in women empowerment or in urbanization, population, the other two factors, other two sectors get immediately affected. Okay, therefore while studying the population, then this urbanization and development, these three topics should not be read in isolated form. Those things should be studied in correlation with each other. Okay, the next topic is effects of globalization on Indian society. This topic is going to be ubiquitous. Okay, effect of globalization, effect of climate change, Indian society, how Indian society is affected by and will get affected by or might be affected by globalization and climate change. They may incorporate two concepts of globalization and climate change into one question. There are lots of possibilities. Why we should be ready for such a possibilities. UPSC is always ready to surprise us. Our job is it's quite impossible that we won't be surprised. Okay, so our job is to be less surprised in those 3 hours. Okay, so we will prepare for that. The next topic is social empowerment, communalism, regionalism, secularism. Okay, 3 very different concepts, but somehow similar concepts. The reasons for these issues, communalism, regionalism, secularism, these things, these are always in debate. Okay, there's always debate going on whether how to deal with issues, how to deal with the problems created by these issues. Okay, so it's always ongoing debatable topics, and always someone's talking about it. Okay, this is about the syllabus. Okay, so what are the sources which can cover this syllabus? Okay, so I would say we can't say that there's one perfect source from which all these syllabus topics can be covered. Okay, but to lay down some foundations and so that we can build up our studies related to the society and social issues, NCERTs is the best source to start with. Okay, sometimes people say there's no benefit from reading these books, NCERTs related to society. But let me tell you, NCERTs are the best source because they have highlighted the issues which were there in the past, and they also highlight the issues which may continue to be the issue in future. Okay, one should understand this correlation. Okay, the issues which were in the past, issues which are in the present, and which issues which might be in the present or which might be in the future. For example, earlier there was the problem of like untouchability. Okay, untouchability. People think, especially in the urban area, think there is no problem of untouchability anymore because the urban people doesn't know about the rural life. That's why they are thinking, and that problem is still persisting in many forms. Okay, if not in the way it was prevalent in the past era, but today that is also prevalent, mostly prevalent, but in different way. Okay, in present context there are different issues like women empowerment or one special issue, gender pay gap. Okay, till date, let's say in the past the major issue was gender discrimination. Okay, now people think that men and women are on the equal footing, so that there's no problem anymore. But the problem has changed now. It has taken new phase. That women are there, along with men, women are also there, but there's a problem of gender pay gap. Okay, for same work, how much is male are getting paid, and for how much the women are getting paid. Okay, there's a large difference in between them. Okay, there's earlier there was a issue like which get a lot of attention, that there is an income inequality in rich and poor people, but there's income inequality between men and women. Okay, men and women also. Okay, so this is the problem of present. Okay, there are lots of other problems also, but this is the problem of present. In the future, there might be the problem regarding conflict between human being and the robots. Okay, because of inclusion of artificial intelligence and all other things. Okay, so with the time, the nature of problems is changing. Okay, so that we need to change our way to deal with those problems. We cannot always use the technique of jugaad everywhere. Okay, even Raghuram Rajan also said this jugaad wala technique for which the Indians are known worldwide. We should get rid of that, because that won't do any good for us in the future. We should do something institutionalized activity in order to deal with these problems, or any kind of problem. Okay, jugaad might be good for short-term solutions, but in the long-term solutions we need to find some institutionalized solutions so that we can deal with those problems on a longer term. Okay, and in most sustainable way. Okay. NCERTs, basic NCERTs, 11th and 12th standard, total 4 NCERTs: introducing society, understanding society, Indian society, and social change and development in India. Okay, so 11th standard NCERTs primarily deal with the society in general. Okay, and 12th standard NCERTs primarily deal with Indian society. Okay, what is the nature of Indian society and what kind of problems that Indian society is facing, and what is the prospect for Indian society, considering Indian society behaves in a way it is behaving currently. Okay, then Indian Society by Ram Ahuja. This one is another book. Okay, if anybody is interested in reading something extra related to this subject, then this is quite good book. Then newspaper. This is quintessential. Okay, without newspaper you cannot answer a single question in sociology paper. Okay, society and social issues wala paper, because we have read the basic books, we have read the basic NCERTs, but the questions that appear in the UPSC examination, they are very farly related to the syllabus, directly related to the syllabus. They are directly related to the current affairs news. Okay, UPSC don't ask questions directly related to the news. They ask questions based on the news behind the news. Okay, we'll get to that also, that whatever that I'm saying, but always remember that reading newspaper, there is no option for reading newspaper. You cannot say that I will cover all the current affairs from reading current affairs compilations. One can't do that. Okay, in last 2 years UPSC has cleared that. Okay, compilations won't do good for us, because compilations cannot cover everything, okay, which newspaper can cover. Okay, you just have to read newspaper daily, and it is important for every subject. You name it, and that current affairs will help you in that subject. Okay, everywhere. So you should be thorough with the newspaper, and you can't just read newspaper, you have to apply it, so that while making your own notes of the newspaper, you should mention that where I'm going to use this particular news. Okay, you should mention in the column or in the margin in your own notebook that this news can be used for this purpose. For example, recently one report was published by United Nations related to population. Okay, that report stated that by year 2028, India, New Delhi is going to be world's most populous city. Okay, this is the news. Okay, UPSC won't directly ask question on this news. UPSC will ask the underlying areas of this fact. Okay, this is the fact that New Delhi is going to be the world's most populous city by the year 2028. Okay, so what kind of questions might appear in the UPSC examination? Okay, not they might not directly mention this fact, but they may ask that what kind of changes we need to make in our urbanizational planning to accommodate the burgeoning population. Okay, or what kind of changes we need to make related to relationship between the city and the satellite towns. Okay, for example, New Delhi satellite towns are Gurugram, Noida and other cities. Okay, so we know that those people who live in those satellite towns, they use the metros and other facilities, transportation facilities, to come into Delhi and for work purpose. Okay, so as the population is going to increase in New Delhi, that population is going to live in these satellite towns. Okay, so there won't be just problem of living, there won't be just problem of sanitation and other, but also that is going to burden the transportation system of India, that transportation system of New Delhi. We need to make necessary changes in order to accommodate that increasing population. We need to create the transportation system which will not let burden the population only on one mode of transportation. We have to make some changes so that this population can use different modes of transportation in a most sustainable way. Okay, this word sustainable is going to help you a lot in every subject, not just in environment but in every subject. Okay, this sustainable development, sustainability, this does not just mean that we have to conserve the resources, we have to use it sensibly and everything. It involves lot of meanings. we will deal with that as we proceed in this lecture. Okay, then next topic, next source is magazine. This is one of the best source. Okay, first best source is this newspaper, and the second best source is the magazine, because in the newspaper there is a limit that how much article can be lengthy. Okay, there is a limit, but in the magazine one can write, one can explore particular subject in many possible aspects. For example, Economic and Political Weekly. Okay, quite good magazine. Okay, very good magazine. Very good magazine. But when you are studying for this UPSC examination, your examination is you have only 10 months left or 8 months left. Okay, so within this time frame, it is quite difficult to read that EPW magazine, Economic and Political Weekly, because it is quite heavy. It has lots of pages and everything, that it is heavy to understand and something. So let's go for some sources which can give us a summary of that magazine, or which can at least tell us the topics in that particular issue, so that you can read about those topics somewhere else where you can improvise your cost benefit ratio. Okay, then Yojana magazine, also go for the summary. Yojana is also Yojana also has many topics. It is quite difficult to cover all the topics, so we better read the summary. Okay, then Down to Earth. I would suggest one should read this Down to Earth magazine originally. Okay, because no article is more than 2 or maximum 3 pages, and they have lots of stats, data, reports, very interesting case studies. I think one should read it originally. Okay, this is my strong recommendation. And Down to Earth is not just about the environment or geography, it covers all the other aspects also. Okay, so that's quite good magazine. Okay, websites, again Down to Earth and LiveMint. Okay, LiveMint is available only on the internet, so one should go for it. One should read its opinions, op-eds, opinions and editorials, quite good. Okay, so when we read this basic material, when we read the NCERTs, that book by Ram Ahuja and everything, still we can't be clear about what kind of question might UPSC ask. That's why we need to be ready with the relevance, need to be ready with the syllabus and previous year question papers. Okay, these two filters we should keep, we should install in our mind, install in our brain, so that whatever we read, we should always be thinking, how can I use this for the examination? Okay, there should be a filter in our mind which should always be looking for something important, something innovative, something different in the newspaper, in the magazine, on the TV series, or anywhere. Okay, because from everywhere the knowledge is coming to you. You should be ready to take it in. And as we are UPSC aspirants, we should always be thinking about, how can I use this in my answers? Because I have already told you in the last session that you can represent yourself in front of the examiner through these 200 words. That's the extent through which you can express yourself, so that one should make it as comprehensive as possible. Okay, so take in everything that you are getting and then filter it off. Okay, whatever that is not needed for now, okay, just filter it off and take whatever is needed for the examination. Okay, you don't have to throw it out, you just have to keep it somewhere else, so that you can use it whenever it is needed. Okay, now we'll get to the previous year question paper. So first topic is poverty, population and globalization. Okay, last year in 2018 there were highest number of questions on this for 40 marks, total 40 marks. Okay, this is the highest number of questions appeared on this topic in the examination. Okay, first question was that despite implementation of various programs for eradication of poverty by the government, in India poverty is still existing. Okay, explain by giving reasons. Okay, in this type of question they have given one statement and you have to explain that statement. Okay, so implicitly it is correct statement. first, but you have to substantiate that statement first. Even though they have given the statement and they have asked whether they haven't asked whether it's true or not true. They have directly asked you to explain with suitable examples. Okay, first you need to mention that currently and in the past there were many government schemes in order to eliminate, in order to eradicate, in order to alleviate the poverty, and you have to mention few of them. Okay, Jawahar Gram Yojana, Integrated Rural Development Program, PM Gramin Niwas Yojana, and like there are lots of n number of government programs. You just have to list down 2 or 3 so that you can show that I know that there were few programs. Okay, now they have said that in spite of all those programs, poverty is still existing. Okay, again you have to substantiate this, that poverty is still existing. It means you have to give some data, you have to show some reports that according to this report, according to NSSO, according to this report, poverty is still persisting in India. Okay, from international standards as well as from the national standards. Means poverty is defined by the national standards in some different way and by the international standards in some different way. Okay, so you have to give this data first, that according to this report, according to this government records, yes, poverty is still persisting. There is still some 9% poverty in India, and you have to mention that data. Okay, so that you have substantiated both the arguments, and you can do this within 40 words. You cannot exceed this limit because you have limit of like 200 words. You cannot exceed that limit. Okay, within these 200 words you have to hit the core of the question. Okay, they have asked the reasons for still persisting poverty in India. Okay, first you have substantiated, you have shown that you know the relevance of this question. Okay, you have shown that. Now get to the question, get to the core of the question. First part, you have to list down various reasons why, in spite of all these efforts, poverty is still existing in India. And while enlisting these reasons, you can create some flow in your answer. Okay, like going from least important reasons to most important reasons, or from most to least important reason. There should be some sense in our answer. Okay, for example, the biggest obstacle in success of this program is inefficiency of administration. Okay, inefficiency of administration, then comes the corruption, then comes the leakages, then comes the unawareness about these programs in the rural areas, then comes and leakages and problems with the policy making and everything. Okay, so there are lots of problems, there are lots of reasons. You need to make sure that you are enlisting those reasons with some logic, so that the examiner can feel some sense in it. Okay, again I am telling you again and again, the person who is going to check your paper is just a human being. He or she is going to be sometimes in upset mood or anywhere. You just have to make his or her job as easy as possible. Okay, you need to show some logic in your answer, and that is what will fetch you more and more marks, because everyone in India is going to read the Hindu, Indian Express, EPW, these NCRTs and everything. What you are supposed to do, you need to mention some interesting topics, you need to mention some different extraordinary topics, okay, without leaving the trace of basics. Okay, and those basics you have to cover in the first 40 words only. Okay, then you have to directly hit the question. Okay, now this is the question. Okay, we won't limit our discussion to this question only. Along with this question, what is the purpose of discussing this question? So that you will understand the possible angles, possible aspects on which UPSC can ask question. Okay, UPSC can ask any question, but there is a limit. There is a limit that to what extent one can study. Okay, and those limits are prescribed by the previous year question papers. Okay, by studying previous year question papers, you can try to understand the extent to which UPSC can ask questions. Okay, so here UPSC has asked that first they have given that there were lots of efforts in order to eliminate the poverty first, second, poverty is still persisting second, and third, they have asked questions, they have asked the reasons for this. Okay, now what are the possible areas on which UPSC can ask question related to poverty alleviation? That please enlist, or please they won't say please, but they may ask that they may ask to enlist few successful programs, okay, government programs with which they actually succeeded in changing the society, in changing the societal perspective. For example, in Andhra Pradesh there was one program called Podupu Lakshmi. Okay, this is anti-liquor, this anti-alcohol initiative, okay, anti-alcohol initiative which succeeded on grand scale. Okay, so you can give so many number of schemes under this. Okay, you just have to keep your eyes and ears open to take knowledge in. You need to be always aware. Okay, in this 1 year all of you want to clear this exam in very first attempt, right? Very first attempt. So you should be always aware that this might be useful for me in the examination. Okay, so you should always be aware, and so that while discussing this question, you just note down, you just mention that this is the topic that UPSC asks questions on. Okay, so what are the possible areas? You need to explore all those areas while discussing, while understanding these topics. Then discuss next question. Discuss whether discuss whether formation of new states in recent times is beneficial or not for the economy of India. Okay. First, they have asked about the formation of new states, and they have specifically asked, is it beneficial or not for the Indian economy? Okay, they haven't gone into this other perspectives, political or other perspectives. They have specifically asked about the economy. Economy is related to other aspects also, but they have specifically asked about the economy, so that the central theme of our answer should be Indian economy and formation of smaller states. Okay, this question they have asked based on the formation of Telangana and the consistent progress in the Telangana's governance and other sectors and other areas of the governance. Okay, so you have to first mention the possible advantages of creating small states. Okay, what are the possible advantages of creating small states? First, it is better. It is good for governing. Okay, governing as the state is smaller, there is a less diversity, so that government can reach to the grassroots level. Government can understand what are the problems of the grassroots level people. Government can go to them, government can make necessary changes in its policy. Okay, first. Second, political stability. Okay, as the state is small, we can that particular state can get a stable government. Then there are many advantages for this. Then possible disadvantages. Okay, possible disadvantage. First problem might be that as there is a fragmentation of states, there might be the lacunas in the fund. Okay, there might be the lack of funds, and because of lack of funds, there might be delays in the infrastructural progress and everything. Okay, then what will be the other problems? Territorial disputes, then resource distribution. There might be problems related to this distribution related problems. Okay, so you have to mention both the sides, that advantages and disadvantages, and now you have to weigh these advantages and disadvantages, and in the conclusion you have to mention whether it's good or not good for the economy, Indian economy. Or you can also suggest that how we need to modify this fragmentation of state, how we can modify this process of fragmentation of state, which will lead to the least number of disadvantages and the maximum advantages. Okay, if one insists to create small states. Okay, then mention core strategies for the transformation of aspirational districts in India and explain the nature of convergence, collaboration and competition for its success. Okay, this question was directly based on the government scheme. Okay, government scheme called the aspirational transformation of aspirational districts. Transformation of aspirational districts. So what is the objective of government in this scheme? Is this initiative aims to remove the heterogeneity through a mass movement to quickly and effectively transform the district. Okay, in this program what they have done, they have taken 115 districts which are comparatively backward, and central government is focused onto this district so that through the participation of masses to quickly transform these districts, quickly bring them into mainstream society, quickly reduce the gap between developed states and developing or underdeveloped states. That is the objective of this mission, under which they are going to transform 115 districts. Okay. Now, what is the core strategy for this? They have mentioned three C's. Okay. First, convergence. Second, collaboration. Third, competition. Convergence, collaboration and competition. So convergence of what? Central and state government schemes. Convergence of these schemes. In collaboration, this collaboration of central and state officers in order to effectively implement the policies. And competition means competition between these aspirational districts, so that these districts will strive for their own betterment. Okay, through these three core strategies, government wants to bring these backward districts into the mainstream society. Okay, now these 115 districts are going to be administered by different sectors, different agencies. For example, 30 districts are going to be administered by Niti Aayog, 50 districts administered by various agencies, and more 30 districts by Home Ministry, and these 35 districts by Home Ministry. Okay, Home Ministry, Ministry of Home. Okay, and these 35 districts are mostly LWE areas. Okay, left wing extremist areas. Okay, red corridor, which we say. Okay, first you need to draw the map. Okay, showing the LWE areas, 35 LWE districts, left wing extremist districts. Okay, and you have to mention the problems in these areas to the democracy, for the governance. Okay, there was an article by M.K. Narayanan in the Hindu where he has given a very apt title for these LWE areas, left wing extremist areas. He said, he explained LWE areas as stress points of democracy. Stress points of democracy. Okay, stress points of democracy is the most apt definition, most apt description for the LWE areas. It means these areas are creating a challenge for democratically established government. They have challenged the government administration in these areas. They are trying to undermine the authority of the government. Okay, so you should be looking for these kind of phrases. You should be looking for these kind of terminologies which can sum up the concept in few catchy words. Okay, let me tell you one statement that used by one very famous author, that in the world deluged by a lot of information, clarity is power. Okay, clarity is power. Okay, in this examination also, what you need to have is the clarity about the concept. Okay, you know, the information, the knowledge is coming from every side. You need to be clear about what are your intentions. You need to be clear what are your objectives while receiving that information, and that clarity will get you through this examination. Okay, always remember, if you put those filters, syllabus, previous year question papers in your brain, you can make your studies very, very easy. Okay, so that you will be able to understand that what is the relevance which you are studying. I am telling you this in this session because society and social issues, you can understand this topic, you can make this topic, study of this topic more and more interesting by understanding the current issues. Okay, what would happen if I won't study it? Okay, nothing would happen. There will be one more negligent citizen. Okay, that's it, that's just going to happen. Okay, and if that bothers you, so let's study it. Okay, let's have a clarity. Let's try to understand what are the problems that India is facing currently. If currently we are not able to do that, let's enable ourselves. Let's make us capable, so that we will be able to fight with these problems in future, and government will be with us in those situations. Okay, and if you want that condition, we need to clear this examination. Okay, if we want to clear this examination, we need to go step by step, and this is one step: society and social issues. Okay, society and social issues. And in order to ace this subject, one should read newspaper. Okay, I have come to very materialistic thing from very enthusiastic, very bigger picture to like reading newspaper. But that's important. That's how we need to keep ourselves motivated. Okay, no other person is going to motivate you. As Gautam Buddha says, Atat Deepo Bhava. Okay, only you can inspire yourself. Only you know how to inspire yourself. Okay, no one other can inspire you and keep you motivated for all of your life, for all of your preparation, for all of your day, throughout the day. No one other can do that. Only you can do that. Okay, that's why I was bringing all these quotes and all these things into this process, because many students they still ask the question whether I need to read the newspaper daily. Okay, this question can't be a question. Okay, there is no question to ask whether it's needed. It is quintessential. Okay, without reading newspaper, without newspaper reading, you cannot call yourself a UPSC aspirant. Okay, one should always do that. Then core strategies and everything, you can directly refer to this Niti Aayog website. You will get all the information. But again, everybody is going to do that. What you need to do, you should make your answer such a beautiful answer, so that the examiner will easily give you more marks than other students. You should be, now the content is going to be same for everyone. So what changes is your style, your presentation skill. Okay, that's what matters in these kind of questions. Okay, you should be you should be nice, you should be the best in presenting your answer. Okay, Then discuss the changes and trends of labor migration within and outside India in last 4 decades. Okay, they have made, the topic is quite vague, but they have made it quite clear, they have made it quite specific, so that there won't be any problem or there won't be any issue of digressing from the topic. Okay, in this topic, in this question, you have specifically, you need to use some substantiating reports, you need to use some data, so that you can clearly say that this is the trend, this was the trend and it's changing now. You can do that only when you understand, only when you have the data with you. There should be some data with you to substantiate your arguments. Without substantiation, one can't argue. Okay, still we are UPSC aspirants, we are not the officers. Okay, so there won't be too much value to our arguments unless we corroborate our argument with some authority material. Okay, for example, recently this ILO, International Labour Organization, in 2018 published its report regarding labor migration in India on international level. Okay, it says that 30 million Indians are living overseas for work purpose, and out of those 30 million people, 9 million people are living in Gulf countries. Okay, and the people who are working, Indian people who are working in Gulf countries, they are especially working in low skilled job sector. Okay, low skilled job. Okay, this is the fact, and this is the stat provided by International Labour Organization. Okay, you have to use such facts, you have to mention some reports, so that you can strengthen your arguments. Okay, now let me tell you one interesting case study. Okay, which the incorporation of which might make your answer more fruitful. Okay, it is related to Kerala. Okay, there was a news regarding labor migration in Kerala. Labor migration from Kerala. That everybody knows that most of the Indians who are living in Gulf countries for work purpose, they are mostly from Kerala. Okay, mostly from Kerala. But in last 5 years, this labor migration from Kerala has been reduced by 11%. Okay, this labor migration from Kerala has been reduced by 11%. What are the possible reasons for it? Why this rate of migration has reduced by 11%? There are lots of reasons. For example, political instability in those areas. Okay, then the scarcity of natural resources in those areas. There might be some restrictions created by those Gulf countries on the migration into these areas. Okay, or the policies of the Gulf countries which might be undermining Indian citizens over there. Okay, so these are the possible areas. There are two types of factors responsible for this migration. One, push factor, and another, pull factor. Push factors means the factors because of which people are pushed outside the territory to find the opportunity to live, to find the opportunity to live prosperous life. Okay, and pull factors means the factors because of which people are attracted to that territory, people are attracted to that city or area, so that where the opportunities are available. Okay, these are push factors and pull factors. Okay, in case of Kerala, it is not push factor which is responsible, it is the pull factor. Okay, the opportunities are available there which are better than the opportunities available in Kerala, therefore they used to go there. But recently this trend is seeing reversing. Okay, this trend is reversing, so that the people who are migrating to Gulf countries from Kerala, it is reducing. And why? I have listed down the possible reasons. Okay, so what kind of question UPSC might create? Okay, one for know the fact that this migration has reduced. This is the news. And what could be the question? That what kind of pressure, what kind of problems this trend might create on the Kerala's domestic economy. Okay, earlier the Kerala's domestic economy was supported by the remittances, the money sent by people who went there in the Gulf countries. They used to send people to their home, okay, and that was major part of Kerala's economy. Okay, but as this trend is reducing, as the this people who are migrating to Gulf countries is reducing, this portion has been cut down. Okay, also now the people are living there in Kerala only. Okay, and those Keralites are dependent on Kerala's domestic economy. Okay, so that the people who were dependent on Kerala's economy earlier, now that economy is burdened by this extra population which earlier used to go in the Gulf countries. Now this Kerala economy has to create new avenues for the employment. Okay, so government has to invest into that area also. When in earlier days, when Keralite youth were there in Gulf countries or migrated to some other areas, okay, their place in employment was taken by North Indian people. Okay, especially from UP and Bihar. Okay, they used to come in Kerala to build infrastructure projects and other things. Okay, actually they had to change their timetable for infrastructure creation according to the festivals in North India, because most of the workers, most of the laborers in Kerala's infrastructure development were from North India, so that during their holiday season they used to go in the North India, so there won't be any work. Now they have Keralite youths are available in Kerala for this kind of work. Okay, so there will be so much of changes because of this small news, because of this small change. Okay, this is only the news for us, but for Kerala it is a big change. Okay, this is the small change in its data, but big impact on the Kerala's economy. Okay, now very important topic, globalization. Okay, first, when you read this topic globalization, okay, always try to define the term globalization. However you want to define it, you can create your own definition, but it has to be that comprehensive. It has to cover all the angles, all the aspects of the concept of globalization. You should be aware of that. You should always take care of that. Okay, so the question is, globalization is generally said to promote cultural homogenization, but due to these cultural specificities appear to be strengthened in the Indian society. Elucidate. Means what? Globalization is all about creating a global village, bringing people together. Okay, globalization is about that. Globalization is about that, but in spite of that, in spite of creating a cultural homogeneity, Indian cultural specificities are on the rise. It means that when the Indian people are conversed with the world trends, are conversed with the world culture, they found that we have something unique. Okay, so that their pride about those things has been strengthened because of globalization. Okay, and that is because now they can compare between the things. Now they can see that this is we have and this is not available in the market. This is not familiar. This is not the world people are familiar with. Okay, so this is what is changing. For example, 21st June is now declared as International Yoga Day. Okay, International Yoga Day. This yoga was part of Indian culture. Now it has been internationalized. Okay, Ayurveda. It has gaining the international fame. It has gaining the international prominence on international platform. Okay, so globalization is working. Yes, globalization is working, but it's working different for different countries. Okay, now the country from where this globalization started, the country from where the concept of globalization was started, that country itself is creating wall around it. that country is creating policies which are not conducive for the globalization. Okay, the president of that country is speaking a language of building a walls around it. Okay, that's quite harsh to hear. That's quite disheartening for the globalization supporters. Okay, this trend is currently known as deglobalization. Earlier, the countries were coming together. Earlier, countries were trying to create a global village. Okay, Indian culture always said that Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam. Indian culture always said that the whole world is one family. Okay, but in 1995, according in the Washington Consensus, this concept of globalization got international fame. Okay, but as this globalization is working different for different countries, and now that particular country thinks that it is not working for us, it is taking job away from us. Okay, this is keep letting the indigenous people die in because of this unemployment and every other thing, and it is giving those jobs to foreigners. Okay, so the wave of deglobalization is on the rise. Okay, not in just one country, it is also increasing in Europe, Africa, Asia, everywhere. Okay, and it is affecting the global economy also. Okay, so India is so intertwined with global economy that once in Economic Survey 2016-17, it was mentioned that with 1% rise in global economy, rise or fall in global GDP, okay, it would affect India's GDP by 0.32%. Okay, if there is rise or fall of 1% in global GDP, it would affect India's GDP by 0.32%. This is how Indian economy was intermingled with the global economy. This is the effect of globalization. Now it's receding. Okay, it's not good for India, it's not good for China, because presently India and China are claiming to be the world's superpower. Okay, world superpower, and they are looking for the opportunity to create their dominance on the international platform, and for that purpose globalization was helping, and now it's receding. Okay, so the new concept has came, reglobalization. Okay, earlier was fueled by some other country. This reglobalization is going to be fueled by the China, because China is producing a lot, but they don't have a market to sell it. Okay, they are looking for a market, and for that purpose globalization is like helpful for them. Okay, with the globalization, countries can open their doors of economy so that China can come sell their product over there. Okay, this is going on so that China is boosting new era of globalization, reglobalization. Okay, while studying the globalization, you need to keep this trend in your mind. Okay, the definition of globalization has not changed, but the effects of globalization are changing. Effects of globalization are different for different countries. Okay. Now another one question: discuss the positive and negative effects of globalization on women of India. Okay, women in India. Okay, positives and negatives. Okay, globalization, it means like there are lots of positives and negatives for globalization, but in this question they have specifically asked about the effect of globalization on Indian women. Okay, how is it working for Indian women? Is it positive or negative? Okay, if we see, because of globalization, many argue that the income inequality has increased. Okay, income inequality has increased, and when income inequality increases, it leads to exploitation of women. Okay, when we say that there is income inequality, rise in income inequality, it is going to affect the status of women. Okay, that happened in the past, and that still happens. Okay, it's unfortunate, but it happens. Okay, this is one of the disadvantage of globalization. What are the possible advantages? Now women have equal access to every opportunity available in the world as far as the men are considered. Okay, every opportunity is available for women, from army to technology and everything. Okay, even in every mission of ISRO, NASA, there was a prominent contribution from women's side. Okay, so this is also positive, and this is the effect of globalization, because the doors of knowledge are open for everybody. Okay, there is no restriction on the gender basis or anything. I am saying this, but condition might be some different. Okay, how can you hone these statements? Okay, I am stating just general facts. I am just stating making some general statements. You can make it specific. You can substantiate these statements with various stats, reports, indexes, and anything. Okay, you have that opportunity. You can do that once you start reading newspaper. Okay, critically examine the effects of globalization on aged population in India. Okay, aged population. They have asked once about the effect on women. One time they have asked about effect on aged population. This time they may ask effect on the children or younger population or the youth. Okay, they can ask that. Okay, and why they may ask this? Because this year World Health Organization included video gaming disorder as a disease in the disease list. Okay, this video gaming disorder, this problem is prominently spread in the youth population. Okay, youth population. So that how this video gaming industry, why people felt that there is a need to enlist this problem, video gaming disorder, as a disease. Okay, this is the face of changing society. The nature of problem is changing. Okay, for aged population, what could be the critically examine the effects of globalization on aged population in India. Because of globalization, some Western values were inculcated in India's value system. Okay, for example, now Indian families tend to be the nuclear family rather than which is earlier used to be the joint family. Okay, because of being a nuclear family, there is no place left for the older people. Now they were shifted to the old age homes. Okay, this is one of the problems. So that as they are moved out of the family, their health conditions were deteriorated and many things. Okay, then you can add the impact of technology, how technology can help in order to reduce the problems regarding aged people and many things. You can add that also. Okay, role of women and women's organization, next topic. Okay, I have already told you, always every year there is at least one question on this topic, role of women and women's organization. If not directly, then indirectly, but there is always one question related to women, development, and all the population wala topic. Okay, women's movement in India has not addressed the issues of women of lower social strata. Substantiate your view. Okay, it means this question recognizes that there were women's movement. There were movements related to the rights of women, the status of women, everything. But those movements were restricted to one strata of the society of women. Okay, it was restricted to rich class, middle class women. Okay, those women movements did not came down to the lower strata. Okay, so you need to first mention some women's movement. Okay, what were the objectives of various women's movement that happened in the past, presently, and how they were only restricted to a special strata, a specific strata, how they did not come down to this lower strata. Okay, you need to give references of various reports, stats, which might be stating that the sexual violences, domestic violence are more prominent in lower strata. Okay, you can you can substantiate this argument with NSSO report or any NGO report. Okay, so that and clearly there are no specific movement, there is no specific women's movement regarding regarding addressing the issues of women of lower strata. Okay, there is no specific movement regarding this. Okay, you can mention that also. Okay, how do you explain the statistics that show that sex ratio in tribes in women in India is more favorable to women than sex ratio among scheduled caste? Okay, this is the comparison between sex ratio in scheduled tribes and sex ratio in scheduled castes. Okay, everybody knows that most of the scheduled tribe, most of the cultures of scheduled tribes are maternalistic in society, maternalistic in nature. Okay, while the other societies were paternalistic. Okay, therefore this has affected the sex ratio in these castes. Okay, you have, this is just a plain fact. You need to substantiate this with reports, with a census reporting, with SECC data and many more things. Okay, you can do that. Then discuss various economic and socio-cultural forces that are driving increasing feminization of agriculture in India. Okay, now how what are the possible areas? Okay, what are the possible economic and socio-cultural forces that led to the feminization of agriculture in India? First and foremost is migration of men to urban areas. Okay, the main person, okay, main person in the family, they move to urban areas in search of job, in search of opportunity of employment, so that the land in their homes, land at their homes, land in their villages, it is left to the women in society, women in family. Okay, which led to feminization of agriculture. Okay, sometimes in some cases what happened, especially in Maharashtra and Andhra Pradesh, in last 20 years there were like thousands of suicides. Okay, because of debt trap and many more things. Okay, those are also responsible for increasing feminization of agriculture. Okay, you have to recognize such distinctive factors, you have to recognize such distinctive reasons for increasing feminization of agriculture. Then this is also very important topic: communalism, regionalism, secularism, social empowerment, salient features of Indian society, diversity of India. Okay, very important topics: communalism, regionalism, secularism. Okay, this year they have directly asked the question, in 2018 they have directly asked the question, how the Indian concept of secularism is different from the Western model of secularism. Okay, secularism, Indian and Western. Okay, we have studied that, you may have studied that in history, that in Western concept of secularism, church or the religion and government are two distinct things. One cannot interfere in another's business. Government cannot ask church or religious institution why they are doing this or they should not do this, or this religious institution cannot tell government that this is the way to do this. Okay, but in India government has no religion, but government can interfere in one particular religion if that religion is being unfair to some sections of society. Okay, so that government, the India has a concept of all religions being equal. Okay, but in Western concept there is no religion of government, so that government has nothing to do with the religion. Okay, so there is very strict compartmentalization between government and religion in Western concept, but there is very subtle difference between the government and the religious institutions. That is the very basic thing, very basic difference between Indian and Western secularism concept. Okay, then communalism arises either due to power struggle or relative deprivation. Okay, argue by giving suitable illustration. Okay, first you need to define what is communalism. Okay, Bipan Chandra somewhere defined communalism that there's a feeling, there's a belief that some section of society believes that this part of society is stronger. Okay, this part of society is stronger in population, stronger in opinion. Okay, so they have control over all the institutions in society. Okay, they have control over the economic institution, governance institution, political institution, everywhere. Okay, this leads to enmity between these sections of society. Okay, where one part becomes majority and one part becomes minority. Okay, you have to put this concept in crispy, short, brief and comprehensive words. Okay, that would be your definition of communalism. Okay, here what they are saying, that communalism arises either due to power struggle or relative deprivation. It means that there are many sections in society who are looking to get hold of power. Okay, or there is there's one section who is stronger than other section, and it has taken control of every aspect of society, and now one section of society has become a minority. Okay, this leads to communalism. Okay, this is whatever I just said, you need to put it in crisp, short and like comprehensive statements. Okay, what I'm saying that you might ask, like, how is it possible that whatever just I said to put it in short and crisp words, that is the most difficult part which you don't know. But whatever I'm telling you, that is the essence of what you should be writing in that answer. Okay, that is what the UPSC is looking for. Okay, then these are like what is the basis of regionalism first. So what you need to do is to define these terminologies first, and then look for the substantiating argument. You look for the current developments regarding these concepts. Okay, what are the possible areas on which UPSC might ask question? Okay, UPSC 2019 exam, mains 2019 exam is currently going on. Tomorrow there will be 9 to 12 paper will be GS1 paper. Okay, so what are the possible areas on which UPSC might ask question? Okay, rising income disparity. Okay, Oxfam recently published its report last 2 months or so. Okay, they have asked whether they have mentioned some facts that first 28 people in the world, most rich billionaires, okay, most rich billionaires in the world, first 28 people owns the property or the wealth which is equal to poorest 500 million people in the world. This is the level of income disparity. Okay, only 28 people, richest 28 people in the world owns the wealth which is equal to whatever that is owned by poorest 500 million people in the world. Okay, this is the level of income disparity. Okay, so there will be a question regarding income disparity, deglobalization, reglobalization, which I have explained to you just now. Then child labor. Okay, child labor. There might be question on this child labor. In prelims also they have asked about this problem of child labor, and various in last year they have also asked the question regarding child labor. One international convention regarding child labor. What are the constitutional provisions regarding child labor which prohibits the child labor? Okay, so you have to study regarding that too. Then Suicide Ministry of UK and problems of youth suicide in India. Okay, there is special ministry in order to deal with the problem of suicides in United Kingdom, in England. Okay, also earlier they came up with new idea of problem regarding loneliness. Okay, there was a department to deal with the problem of loneliness. Okay, how one can explain that these kind of problems, these kind of new problems, why they are rising in the UK first and then they are going into the rest of the world? Okay, I can't figure that out. But India is also facing this problem. Okay, we cannot say that England is having that problem. India is also having that problem, and that problem is much worse than what UK is facing. Okay, especially in India, there is a peculiar problem. Okay, if we see the trend in rest of the world regarding suicide, okay, in most of the countries suicide are prevalent in the aged people, but in India the suicides are prevalent in the youths. Okay, most of the suicides are committed by the youth in India. Okay, this is a we should take a note of this, that why is this problem, why India has the unique problem of increasing number of suicides in youth. Okay, we need to deal with this problem. Okay, then climate change and society. Climate change is going to be everywhere. Okay, you name it, you name the area, there's going to be some impact of climate change in that particular sector. Okay, you need to study that also. Okay, Kerala's reduced migration, which I have explained that earlier. Women work participation rate. McKinsey report. Okay, or also the IMF chief Christine Lagarde. Okay, IMF chief Christine Lagarde mentioned in 2017 that if India's development process, if India's sector becomes gender neutral, okay, it means if there will be 50-50 work participation rate of men and women, India's GDP would increase by 27%. Okay, you can highlight this opinion because this opinion came from the authority person. Okay, you can highlight this opinion in your answer related to work participation rate. How India's industry, how India's IT industry, mining industry and every kind of industry, how it is faring on the gender basis. Okay, you need to mention that also. Increasing population and urbanization. Just I told you about that New Delhi wala fact, right? That this New Delhi is going to be world's most populous city by 2028. Okay, this is the fact, and now you have to understand the news behind news. What are the possible problems which might create this fact? Okay, you have to work on that. Okay, this is about the society and social issues. Now we will move to the next topic, science and technology. Okay, this topic is very big. They have mentioned few topics here in prelims. General science, that's it. Okay, it means UPSC can ask anything about science in UPSC prelims examination. Okay, and generally UPSC asks technology related questions, not basic science question. Okay, technology related. They asked recently, they asked about the Internet of Things. They asked about the LEDs, Bureau of Energy Efficiency. Okay, they have asked these kind of questions. So most of the questions in prelims are related to the technology rather than basic science. Okay, in mains they have prescribed some areas, they have mentioned some areas in syllabus like science and technology, developments, their applications and effects in everyday life. Okay, then achievements of Indians in science and technology, indigenization of technology and developing new technology, awareness about the fields of IT, space, computers, robotics, nanotechnology, biotechnology and issues relating to IPR, intellectual property right. Very specific. They have been very specific about this. And in mains, if you look at the questions related to science and technology, you can see clear trend. Okay, there's one question regarding basic science. Okay, theoretical physics, theoretical chemistry, or very basic. Okay, the topic which is in news in that year particular. For example, last year the gravitational waves, Einstein theory was in news. Okay, so they asked question regarding Bose-Einstein statistics. Okay, Bose-Einstein statistics. Okay, they took one topic which was in discussion. They related it to Indian scientists and they framed question regarding it. Okay, Bose-Einstein statistics. Okay, we'll see the questions later. Okay, now the sources which you can use for, to study this subject. Okay, again very basic NCERTs, especially 9th and 10th standard NCERTs and 12th standard biology NCERT, especially the part covering biotechnology. Okay, biotechnology is a very important topic, and as we are living in the world where information technology and biotechnology are fusing together. Okay, information technology and biotechnology are coming together. Now new arenas are open now. Okay, new avenues for the research purpose are open now. Okay, so there's a lot of research going on, okay, to incorporate this information technology into biotechnology or biotechnology into information technology. The scientists are creating artificial baby. Scientists are creating 3-parent baby. Okay, so people are generating human. Okay, people are on the path of creating a replica of human. Okay, so this is the development. UPSC asks questions on this development of technology. Also, they are trying to relate whatever that is going on in the world in the research front, and they are trying to correlate with whatever research that is going on in India. Okay, in any question of UPSC, you need to know its relevance from India's perspective. That you cannot forget about India's contribution to that. We'll see in the while dealing with the questions. Okay, newspapers: The Hindu, Indian Express, and The Guardian. Okay, because Hindu, Indian Express covers lots of research in India. Okay, but there is a lot of research going on outside in foreign countries, and those issues are covered by these papers like The Guardian, New York Times, Washington Post. Okay, they cover lots of areas in research field. Okay, then websites. Okay, ISRO website, NASA, space.com. Okay, you can visit these websites to clarify the ideas, clarify the concepts which are in news. Okay, if you hear about the gravitational waves, directly go on to the NASA website. They have given the explanation of gravitational waves in most simple terms. Okay, anyone can understand those terms. Also, they have given animation, they have given videos. You can use those videos to understand those topics. Okay, very good resources. Okay, and there are very few topics. Okay, when you are reading newspaper, directly go to the Google, mention that topic, and you can say that you can mention the UPSC or concept of this term. Okay, you will get explanation for anything. You have to use internet as far as possible. Okay, as much as possible, so that you can make your studies easier and easier. Okay, use internet as far as possible. Then what are the previous year questions regarding this science and technology? Okay, why is there so much activity in the field of biotechnology in our country? How has this activity benefited the field of biopharma? Okay, biotechnology, they have mentioned the topic biotechnology in syllabus itself. Okay, so you have to know what is biotechnology, what is the definition of biotechnology, and what are the latest developments, what are the recent activities that are going on in the world and in India. Okay, you have to list down some research regarding, you have to list down some activities regarding it. For example, that there's BT cotton. Everybody knows about BT cotton. Now there is hum about the BT brinjal. Okay, regarding giving the approval to introducing BT brinjal into the market. Okay, so you have to mention that also. There are also many activities going on regarding biotechnology in the Indian field, in India's research field, and at the international market, but they have specifically asked about our country. Okay, and second part of question is about this integration of biotechnology and pharmaceutical industry. How biotechnology can be used to improve the results of pharmaceutical industry. You have to mention that. Then they have asked the question, specifically asked the question about the stem cell therapy. Okay, what is stem cell therapy? How it can be used? In what areas it can be used? You have to detail this. This question is quite easier if you know the concept of stem cell therapy. If you have read about the stem cell therapy, you can easily understand in what areas it can be used. Okay, it's quite easy. What will fetch you more marks? First, your presentation skill and the number of points that you can make. Okay, that's it. They discuss the work of Bose-Einstein statistics done by Professor Satyendranath Bose and show how it revolutionized the field of physics. Okay, first, what was in the news? Einstein's theory of relativity. Okay, so what they have done, they have connected this topic with whatever research that has been done by Indian scientists. Okay, so that was the expected question that year. Okay, India has achieved remarkable success in unmanned space mission, including Chandrayaan Mars orbiter mission, but has not ventured into manned space mission, both in terms of technology and logistics. Explain critically. Okay, this question was in 2016. Okay, but recently in 2019, India has announced its manned mission by 2022 Gaganyaan mission. You can mention that also. And what are the challenges that India or ISRO has to face in order to develop this manned mission? You have to mention that also. Okay, then give the account of growth and development of nuclear science and technology in India. Okay, this is the direct topic from our syllabus. Development of India's nuclear and nuclear science technology nuclear science and technology. Okay, then discuss India's achievements in the field of space science and technology. How are the applications of technology has helped India in socio-economic development. These last 2-3 questions were there in 2015, 2016. Okay, now those questions are outdated. UPSC is being very specific regarding science and technology questions. Okay, you need to keep your eyes and ear open regarding current affairs in the field of science and technology. Okay, that's the success mantra for science and technology. First, be beautiful. Okay, be as comprehensive as possible while writing your answer. Try to give as many examples as possible, which will fetch you more marks as compared to other students. Okay, so in this session we'll stop here. I have explained you the syllabus for these topics. I have explained you the probable question for this year. I have explained you the book sources that you can use in order to strengthen your studies for this subject. Okay, so we'll stop here. Thank you. Good night.